Hi everyone, I'm Gina K from Gina K Designs and your host of Stamp TV. I'd like to welcome you to our release party presentation. Tonight you will get to see 5 brand new clear stamp sets, a spectacular new Darling Diva, and 3 brand new incentive stamp set duos. At any time, feel free to click on the links below this screen to play along with our contest questions, our challenge, and to see all of the stamp sets in full, along with beautiful samples created by our design team especially for you. If you're the partying type, we have a party chat thread going strong where you can hang out with the design team and me from now until 9 p.m. Central Time. And the best news is, all of the stamps are already available in our store at ginakdesigns.com, so you don't have to wait to place your order. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's release party presentation. I'm so excited to show you the new stamp sets that we've released tonight. We have 5 brand new clear stamp sets, 1 spectacular new Darling Diva, and 3 new incentive stamp set duos. Let's start off with a brand new thank you set by Beth Saleka called Lots of Thanks. Thank you cards are one of the most popular types of cards stampers create. And with the new Lots of Thanks stamp set, you'll be able to send beautiful thank you cards for all kinds of reasons. Whether someone gave you the perfect gift, was there to lend a helping hand, or just happens to be a great friend, you can create the perfect card of thanks with the Lots of Thanks set. The new vertical Greetings and Things by Teresa Momber is filled with beautiful images and the vertical greetings so many of you have requested. Sometimes the perfect greeting is one that will fit down the side of a card. And with the vertical Greetings and Things stamp set, you will have a perfect greeting for any occasion. It's the Little Things is the newest stamp set by Becky Ohlers. Although this stamp set is perfect for baby cards and cards for kids, you can use these whimsical images for scrapbook pages, Project Life journaling cards, and so much more. This perfect little stamp set is the perfect addition to any stamper's collection. The new stamp set Elegant Flourishes by Carolyn King will help you create fabulous backgrounds and perfect decorative elements for any card or scrapbook project. Use the large flourish for big backgrounds on everything from cards to 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, and use the more delicate flourishes for accents that peek out from behind any focal image. The Elegant Flourishes stamp set is a must-have basic for your collection. Melanie Menchinger has created a beautiful all-occasion stamp set called Stamper's Favorites. These stunning hand-drawn images will be useful year-round in creating beautiful all-occasion cards and gift sets for everyone on your list. These stamps can be used as stunning focal images or lightly stamped as a beautiful vintage background. The Stamper's Favorites will become your favorite too. The fabulous new Celebration Diva is the newest Darling Diva by Debbie Corbari. Whether you're ringing in the new year, celebrating a promotion, or just ready to have a party, the Celebration Diva will make the perfect invitation or celebration card. Next, I want to show you the 3 brand new incentive stamp set duos. Many of us can make a beautiful card front, but don't always have the right greeting for inside. All of the incentive stamp set duos this month will help you solve that problem. This month, when you spend $25 in a single order, you'll receive this fabulous thank you duo. If you spend $50 in a single order, you'll receive the thank you duo plus this fabulous new birthday duo. And if your order goes up to $75 or more, along with the other 2 duos, you'll also receive this heartfelt sympathy duo. We've chosen greetings to coordinate with the 3 most popular types of cards that stampers make year-round. These useful duos are a perfect addition to your collection of greetings, and with the generic font used for the inside stamps, they can mix and match with other stamps you already have in your collection. All of these stamp sets, including the 3 new incentive duos, are now available in the What's New category at www.ginakdesigns.com. Now that you've had an opportunity to see all of the beautiful stamp sets included in tonight's release, I'd like to show you an Elegant Flourished thank you card featuring the new Elegant Flourishes stamp set by Carolyn King and the new Lots of Thanks stamp set by Beth Saleka. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need to make this card project. First, you're going to need some ink pads, and I'm using the Gina K Designs Fresh Asparagus, Sweet Mango, Turquoise Sea, and Black Onyx ink. I'm also using a Versamark ink pad. Then you're going to need an Embossing Magic pad. It's an anti-static pad, and it removes static from the surface of your card, and it also helps absorb any oil or gets rid of any debris that might mess up where the embossing powder sticks. You only want that to stick to your ink and not to anything else. Then I have some of the Ranger Superfine Detail Clear Embossing Powder. I also have 3 jumbo sponge daubers. For ribbon, I'm using some of the Gina K Designs black gingham ribbon, and this is the 5/8 of an inch width. And I'm also using some of the We Are Memory Keepers Baker's Twine in the black and white. I have one of the Gina K Designs Turquoise Sea buttons. And then for cardstock, I'm using our Turquoise Sea cardstock, some of our Black Onyx, and our Layering Weight White. I also have some of the 1/4 inch pop dots, some scissors, and some mono-adhesive tape. Now the stamps I've chosen tonight are one of the smaller Delicate Flourishes from the Elegant Flourishes stamp set, and then I've chosen 2 of the thank you stamps from the Lots of Thanks stamp set, and it's the one with all the little check boxes, and then I've chosen a thank you greeting for on top. And as you can see, I've put both stamps on the block already so that I can just stamp this in one pass. So to begin, let me move some of this out of the way. We're going to start with a background technique. So I'm going to first use that anti-static pad and remove static from the surface of this piece of cardstock. Then, using the flourish, I'm going to ink that up using some of the Versamark ink. And I'm going to randomly stamp these flourishes all around the surface of the card. Now when you're using clear stamps, it's pretty easy to see where you want to stamp, but when you're using Versamark, it's not always easy to see where that ink went. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of light near your work surface, and you'll be able to see the watermark left behind. And that will help you eliminate overlapping images. It's a little bit hard to see here on the camera, but if you were to see it up close, I don't know if you could see that little bit of shine that's peeking through there. That's what you see when you're stamping in real life. So it's a little bit easier to not overlap by mistake. But even if you do, this is a background technique, and a little bit of overlap will certainly not look bad in any way. And you can see I'm turning this flourish as I stamp to make sure that it doesn't look too patterned, that it's more random. You get a more random look that way, and that makes it look a little bit more like real patterned paper. I'll do this one here, and just a couple more to go. As most of you probably already know, good lighting is a must when you're stamping. And we'll do one more over on this angle. There we go. And I'm just going to use a little piece of extra cardstock I had laying around here. And I'm going to grab that clear embossing powder, and sprinkle that all over my stamped areas. You may not be able to see it real well here, but this is just sticking to the Versamark. And then you can blow away any excess before you emboss. This way you're just going to emboss in the areas that you want. You can probably see that a little bit. There's a little bit of a textured pattern there. But before I emboss, I am going to put this embossing powder back into the jar. Get that out of the way so I don't cook the powder by accident. Okay, so my next step is to emboss these flourished images. And you'll know that they're embossed because they start to come up real shiny. And once they're nice and shiny and smooth, they are done. So don't lean too hard on any one area with the heat, or you could burn the embossing powder, and then that will make the technique a little more difficult to do. So it doesn't take long. Once your heat tool starts to heat up, then it's really easy, and you can probably see that shine there. You see that? That is so pretty. And you know, this card is going to be a thank you card, but I'll tell you, this background with these flourishes is so beautiful for a wedding card. Just leaving it white. It looks so pretty. So if you have any wedding cards in your near future, try that as a background technique. That is just stunning. Okay. So now my next step is to let this cool for a second, and then I'm going to start to ink up some of these areas. The first color I'm going to use is the Fresh Asparagus, and the way I'm going to do this is just going to ink up little bits of the card at a time using the different colors. So I'm going to start over here and ink up a little bit of green there. You can see that pattern starting to come through. Then I'll bring some of that color in over here. And then a little bit of that same color back here. Let's see, just a little bit. You can go kind of heavy in certain areas so that it's real dark, and then it kind of fades to a little bit lighter green. Okay, so there's my green parts. Now my next color is going to be the Sweet Mango. I'm going to ink up a sponge dauber with some of that, and that's just going to be kind of light in certain areas. Like that. And don't worry about overlapping color on color. They will blend pretty nicely together. You don't have to worry about any seams because they just blend so pretty. And then my last color is going to be the Turquoise Sea. Ink that up. And if you have some of these sponge daubers and you've wondered how to clean them, the best thing to do is just rinse them when you're done with warm water and just let them air dry overnight. So here's my turquoise coming in. These three colors are so pretty together. And I love blending that turquoise into the green. So there is my beautiful flourished background. Now you can take a piece of paper towel once you're done, and then you can wipe over the surface, and that will pick up any ink that was just laying on top of the embossed areas, because those embossed areas will not hold ink, and you don't want that to rub off on somebody's hands, and you also want that white to really be white and bright, so by rubbing that excess off, it really makes the flourishes whiter. And then you might want to just get a damp paper towel and clean up your workstation, since we kind of inked outside of the piece of cardstock. We want to get rid of any of that so it doesn't get on the rest of our project. Okay, so the next step is to create my focal image for this card. And I'm going to do that using a small piece of white cardstock and the Gina K Designs Black Onyx ink, along with this combination of thank you stamps from the Lots of Thanks stamp set. Now I'm just going to ink that up and make sure it's nice and inky. And then when you're working with a bigger image like this, excuse my head if I have to lean over here to make sure it's even. When you're working with a big image like this, you want to make sure that you press down all of the areas, because sometimes you can get shallow spots in the center when you're just pressing down around the edges. So use your fingers and just lightly create pressure. You don't have to rock or anything, just press. And then there is my greeting. What I love about this stamp is you can make a whole bunch of these thank you cards, and then you can put them aside and use them for whatever kind of thank you need just by grabbing a pen and then checking the boxes that apply. Or of course you can fill in your own here, and I thought it would be cute just to check that and put all of the above. But for this one, I'm going to send it to a friend, and my friend is always there for me, so thank you for being there. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for loving me. And if you want, you can either use a pen or you can use a coordinating marker color to pick up some of the different ink colors that are in your background. So you could do one that matches sweet mango, one that matches fresh asparagus, and one that matches turquoise sea. You can do little X's or little check marks. Now what I've done, here I have one that's already layered. I layered this on some black onyx and some turquoise sea. And then I've taken the same background and I've layered that on a piece of black onyx and added a little bit of our black gingham ribbon on top. So this panel is going to go onto my turquoise sea card base. And I always like to add a little bit of tape over that ribbon to hold the ribbon down, especially when I'm going to do a little button on there. And that will go onto that card base like that. Then I'm going to use these 1/4 inch pop dots to add this front panel on top. So I'll put one in each corner. And some of you like to use more pop dots. That is just fine. You might want to put them in the centers too of the perimeter, depending on what you need to feel secure that it will stay where it's supposed to. I'm just going to use 4 for this sample, but I might use an extra couple if I'm sending it out. And then I'm going to kind of stagger it over to the edge a little bit because I'm going to add a button and a bow onto the side here. So that's going to go there right like that. And then I have another piece of ribbon that I'm going to tuck underneath here. Let me cut that to a point. That'll make it a little bit easier to slip under there. There we go. Okay. And then I just want to tie a little knot here on the side, like that, and just trim it down. There we go. Let's trim these a little bit smaller. That. And this one will make a little bit better of an angle. There we go. And now if you want to, you can add a button on top of that using a little bit of the baker's twine, which I'll do. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to slip that underneath that piece of ribbon. Grab that. And then I always like to cut another little point there. It makes it easier. Now some of these buttons have some really interesting detail in them, so you can choose which side you like. I think I'll put the smooth side to the back and show that little bit of detail. And let's slip this through. And then we'll make a little bow right onto that button. Buttons are fun to use in your projects. They add quite a nice little accent. And they're pretty easy to work with. You can also just stick buttons on using glue dots, so if you don't want to tie them, you don't have to. So there is my finished card project. Try this same card using warm neutral tones for a more masculine look. No matter what color combination you choose, this thank you card will be one you can make again and again. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's release party presentation video. The design team will be hanging around until 9 o'clock Central Time in the release party chat thread at the link below the screen. And the contests, challenge, and full stamp set reveal links will stay live until Monday when we choose the winners of our contest questions and challenge. Those winners will each receive a grab bag of over a dozen deeply etched pre-cut Gina K Designs rubber stamps. And now that you've learned more about these new stamp sets, you can visit our store at GinaKDesigns.com. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you back here soon on Stamp TV.